Time is speeding up. Chaos is shifting into a new level, and we feel the pull to unlock the mysteries of the universe. Timeless spiritual wisdom offers the point of stability to navigate these times and to open our greatest potential. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the fun and knowledge of visionary best-selling authors Sri and Kira as they explore these mysteries and invite your higher love to come forward. And now, here are Sri and Kira.
Stay and welcome to Explore the Mysteries. I am Wisdom Teacher Sri Ram Ka.
And I am Master Lady Kira Ra. And beloved one, breathe in. Really take this moment to just say, Sa, exhale, release, because we are at a very unique moment on our planet right now. And today's show, we are going to dive deep into an archangelic insoulment that first brought forward this idea, this understanding, this recognition of the phrase dimensional dementia. And I want you to really breathe that in because in many ways it's a brand new language. And today's show really is going to focus on this specific ensoulment because of this specific moment that we are in right now.
Many people are familiar with the word dementia or senility, but the most common...
Alzheimer's,
yes. The most common symptom of that is the loss of memory, that we lose track of things. And that dementia refers to a state of a deterioration in the short-term memory and eventually other longer-term memory and such. However, what is dimensional dementia? That is, what does it mean when something kind of phases in and phases out that causes you to lose track of time, let alone to lose track of your memory?
Well, and to lose track of the most important memory of all, who you really are. Because at the core essence of dimensional dementia is an illusionary experience pretending to be real that has captivated, distracted, encapsulated and entrapped that which you are. And this is this moment in history. This is this moment in time. We are exploring this mystery. How do we navigate dimensional dementia? What is it really? And why has it become almost common? Right? We're also going to be talking about building this new earth versus building an energy frequency or moving into these vibrational planes. And what is entrapment? And what is that entanglement that's before us all now? And, before we go any further and get entangled in this conversation, we do want to give a big shout out to all of you that are tuning in with us. Thank you for supporting Explore the Mysteries. Our sacred intention every week is to unwrap yet another piece of these incredibly sacred messages that were gifted to all of us for this moment and to offer each of us the opportunity to go even further in our divine mastery. So big shout out over at AM/FM 247, also over at iHeartRadio, over at onenesstalkradio.com. Everywhere you're connecting with us, thank you for being here right now.
Absolutely. And we are indeed in a kind of quote-unquote new age. The phrase new age gets applied to a lot of different behaviors. However, the truth of the matter is that since the millennia, especially since the year 2000, there has been an uptick in the Earth's vibrational field, known as the Schumann resonance.
Right. We started talking about that how many years ago? Yeah.
There's been an uptick in vibration in people and individuals. And when we lift our vibration, we begin to recontextualize our lives. We begin to look at things differently. When consciousness expands, that's what we're referring to, our vibration lifts. We become more inclusive. We begin to see beyond the surface a little more easily. So this is sort of the precursor to understanding how can that become a symptom that could cause you to lose track of things?
Well, how about we just go right to the ensoulment and let's just start there. So once again, for those of you that are not familiar with what is ensoulment, why don't we give them the 1-minute version so they understand?
Absolutely. As Kira and I came together, we activated our soul's mission, which is to support this expansion of consciousness at this time. And when we actually said yes to our mission, Kira Ra began having spontaneous archangelic ensoulments.
And if you want to know more about that, read our book, Sacred Union, The Journey Home. Sincerely, a classic on self-ascension.
Absolutely. And these ensoulments are direct communications from the archangelic realm, from the ascended masters. And one of their qualities that is so essential is they're 100% pure. Kira actually leaves her body. She literally dies and slumps over. And I hold her soul, and then the archangelic presence steps in and offers a message. And when that message, that wisdom, that energy is complete, then I assist Kira to reanimate. And this process is a little unusual. It's not very common out there at all. But it does ensure, by Kira Ra leaving, it ensures that whatever comes through is intact. It's pure. It's not influenced by her ego or her reality.
Well, and what's so beautiful and why this show is here right now, why we are exploring these mysteries, is because these ensoulments that we are currently unlocking the keys to were literally, now hold on to your hat, all right? Just kind of breathe this in. They were literally seeded into this experience of time. Remember that we are in an incredibly fluid universe. We are ever expanding. We are ever spiraling. And this is why you can't mess up. This is why no matter what, you're just spiraling in a beautiful way. Well, when these ensoulments came in, many of the ones that we're decoding right now in our Monday Night Magic are from 2006. And what we're finding is that these were literally seeded in, should this moment in time arise, and it has,
yes,
that Sri and I would still be on the planet to be able to offer this exploration into the mysteries, to be able to offer the decoding. And for those of you that want to go even deeper into this journey, and boy, is it powerful, fun, life-transforming, and incredible, it's every Monday night. You can jump in for as little as $1. It is a 100% donation to our Humanitarian Aid Foundation, where we are feeding a lot of hungry people, helping a lot of refugees who need places to sleep. And so offer yourself the gift of not only offering a donation of love, but jump into our Monday night, and hurry up, because Monday Night Magic, our culminating Monday Night Magic, is going to actually be tomorrow. If you're catching us right here on the premiere of this podcast, that's going to be Monday night, December 21. So join us. And if you missed that, hey, go to SriandKira.com, go to the events page, and jump into the next series starting in January, because it's going to be even more profound. So this show is our snippet of our world service. And that's what our Monday nights are. It's our community world service. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, approaching thousands, are coming together every Monday night for the energy, for the up level, for the community, and for the absolute knowing that you are not alone. If you found your way to this show, the depth of your greater self is emerging. So Sri, let's dive into this incredible ensoulment and start offering these decoding keys.
I think the best way to start, I want to read some of Archangel Zadkiel's actual words here, and then we'll chat about them.
Yeah.
So here's what Archangel Zadkiel had to say. Many people say, I'm losing my thought, so I must have a disease. Yes, you have dimensional dementia. Yes, it is a good thing. You are being trained to acquire dimensional dementia. Do not medicate it. As you move into dimensional dementia, understand and recognize it for what it is. Oh my goodness, I forgot what I was going to eat. I forgot what I was going to do. Give yourself the opportunity to ask yourself, where was I? This is part of the way you come out of the entrapment. So we could just pause right there.
Well, why don't we finish that? Why don't we finish that and then start pausing right there? Because absolutely, that is the spot. So here it is. This is part of the way, just part of the way you come out of the entrapment. So avoid looking at yourself and saying, oh, poor me, Alzheimer's is coming soon. Instead, give yourself the opportunity to recognize that you are indeed stepping in and out. And this is where let's dive in here, because this is, I'm going to go back to where you first wanted to stop. This is part of the way you come out of the entrapment. And I want to go into that last sentence, giving yourself the opportunity to recognize that you are stepping in and out.
Yes.
This is about awareness.
Absolutely.
This is that number one ascension expanded symptom, awareness.
And so the key here is to recognize that we are all on a spiritual journey. And many of us, maybe not fully consciously, but many of us have said, yes, in this lifetime I shall self-ascend. And that the path of self-ascension offers reassurance and guidance for that process.
It's a yoga, and it is so easy.
And this is how we are able to bring in an understanding, a context, and a focus to continue this process of becoming the truth of who you are, which is a soul in a body having a human experience.
Breathe that in. Let's just stop right there. I am a soul in a body having a human experience. And if the word soul doesn't resonate with you, insert the one that does. It's that beautiful awareness that says, wait a minute, I get it. I get that there's more going on here. So now that you get it, let's go to the next paragraph of this insoulment, which is so powerful, Sri. Have no doubt you are stepping in and out of many worlds. Just stop right there.
Yes.
Right? Have no doubt that you are stepping in and out of many worlds. Now, one of the things that I love about this is the rise in the seeding of the consciousness of humanity through the media. How many programs, shows, energies, the inspiration of writers.
Yeah.
That inspiration of the writers is calling forward multidimensional existences, timeline overlaps, understanding parallel time travel, right? Yeah. Einstein is coming forward and being validated in ways that many sought not to validate. And so have no doubt you are stepping in and out of many worlds. And it is the belief and the resistance to that is the entrapment that we were just talking about.
Right. The belief that it needs to be fixed, that it needs to be solid, that we are matter, as opposed to an energy in a synergistic relationship with matter.
Exactly.
So Zadkiel continues and shares, there are many who step in and out when they are in the dream space, when they are in the sleep space. There are many who are having this experience, and many of you have been having sleep space experiences. You have been stepping in, you have been stepping out.
Now, let's stop right there because Zadkiel brings in a very important word here, experience. What a blessing. Have no doubt you are stepping in and out of many worlds is the awareness. Remember that our ascension, right? Our job, Sri and I, our quote job as we explore these mysteries is to be able to assist you to see the codes because all of these have code inside of them. And so we are greeted with the first step on the spiral of our ascended presence, which is our greater awareness. We become aware of that which we were not even aware of. Then we start having the conscious experience because awareness spirals into experience. And Zadkiel is saying, look, there are many who are having this experience and many of you have been having the sleep space experience. You're stepping in and you're stepping out. What he's saying is you're just not aware of it. You just haven't called it into your consciousness. This, Sri, I think is also a profound moment and an important reminder about the Avesa Dream Connectivity practice, which you can find for free on the homepage of our website. Just go to sriandkira.com and scroll on the homepage and you'll see a line that says click here for the Avesa Dream Connectivity practice. And if ever there was a time to remember that just because your physical body sleeps at night, your consciousness does not. This is one of the easiest and first places you can begin to start reclaiming command of your conscious expansion, of being able to get closer to that law of instantaneous manifestation by absolutely being aware that the sleep experience is yours to command. And so go to sriandkira.com, scroll on that homepage and get the Avesa, AVESA, Dream Connectivity practice. And I strongly encourage you to start doing it even just once a week.
Yeah, it's very powerful to awaken the fullness of your consciousness.
Absolutely. And
so what Zadkiel is sharing with us is this clarity that you are a spiritual being and you are stepping in and out of many worlds. And for the most part, we begin this process without direct consciousness of what we're doing. Yet, our awareness may notice some shifts.
Right.
And that brings us back to the word dementia, that when we forget, what was I doing? What was I making in the kitchen? What's going on? That in those moments, we become aware that something has happened, but we weren't fully conscious of the experience.
And yet, through the experience, it helps the awareness, and it brings us to, let's read the next line. Recognize that you are at the time of consciously being able to move in and out. This is the choice. This entire paragraph is the code of the key to your ascended expansion. It's the awareness, the experience, and the choice. I'm going to read this whole paragraph now together as one, because this one experience right here is bringing you through awareness, experience, choice. So I want to invite you to bring your hands to your heart, take in a deep breath and relax. And I'm just going to read this to you. Let go of your paradigms and just receive it as the expanding energy it is meant to be from the beloved Archangel Zadkiel. Have no doubt you are stepping in and out of many worlds. There are many who step in and out when they are in the dream space, when they are in the sleep space. There are many who are having this experience. And many of you have been having the sleep space experience. You have been stepping in, you have been stepping out. Recognize that you are at the time of consciously being able to move in and out. Take in a breath. Let's let it out. And just notice how you're feeling. Notice that inner voice, that inner energy. And let's continue, because that inner energy is speaking to you right now. So let's continue,
Yes.
Sri.
There are many who will very rapidly escalate from a dimensional perspective by being able to keep track. We invite you to only remember one thing, to ask yourself, where was I?
Where was I? When you become aware, first step of our ascended consciousness, coming back into presence, right? Awareness means our present consciousness is coming into our ascended presence, our ascended awareness. When you become aware that you were unaware, the question is, where was I? Ask. Don't let it just go by. Don't drown in the confusion of it. This is how this insoulment opened up. Oh, poor me, dementia's coming. No. Command it. This is a moment to command it and go, wait a minute. I get I wasn't here, so where was I? Then ask yourself, who is asking, where was I? So really just take a moment and breathe that in. Who is the part of you that needs to know? Breathe that in. Where was I? Who is asking? And who is the part of me that really needs to know? Breathe in. Yeah.
You need to know and to be reassured that you are practicing. You are actively practicing. You are actively doing, and you are actively participating.
Breathe that in and feel that, because I'm noticing a lot of holding a breath as you receive that. Breathe in, really receive that. You are already achieving everything just by being, just by being here. You found this show. You are absolutely already so involved in the mastery expansion, because you are building a new earth.
Yes.
And Zadkiel says, we offer this word to you, this new earth, for you to feel comfortable. Because you must understand. Now, for those of you that take Monday Magic, anytime we hear the word understand inserted into any of these ensoulments, that's an appeal to the left brain. So this is, whenever you hear you must understand, what the archangelic realm is saying is, hey, go beyond that piece of you that's seeking to stop, and let it relax. Let it just relax in this moment. So you must understand that what you are building is actually an energy frequency. And this is where the Einstein comes in. A vibrational place, a plane, a space of being that supports your vibrational escalation. This is the revelation of the multidimensional presences and how to be there, how to access them. And I love this because they say, and this place is being visited by you more often than you're consciously aware. And this is why we're being offered this way out of entrapment.
Right. And so it begins with great respect for you.
Yes.
To be able to just pause and say, where was I? And who's asking? Because we sometimes, in our immersion into our human experience, we become immersed into that identity we call the personality or the ego, when in fact your personality and your ego are just a tool. They're a perspective through which you can engage life. The true self, with a big S, is your essence, your soul energy. And the small s, your little identity, is very much conditional. It's who you think you are or pretending to be.
Right? And this is really important because it brings us all to this building of the new earth and the new language that's coming forward. So we have really invited you to stretch and unpack a lot right now. So as you bring your hands to your heart, I want to read this to you again. I want to invite you to go deep with it. Go take your quick break. We're going to take our quick break because when we come back, we're going to really dive back into this building of the new earth and this new language that invites us to expand well beyond the dimensional dementia and to really have that opportunity to have no doubt that you are stepping in and out of many worlds. Recognize that you are at the time of consciously being able to move in and out. We're building a new earth, we're learning a new language, and we are expanding. We'll be right back.
To the Self-Ascension Classroom, affordable and beautiful home study for your mystical journey. Imagine the gift of studying everything that you've ever wanted at home and on your time. Yes, it is possible, and there is so much to choose from as you dive into your home study experience. Remember that with every moment you spend studying this gift, you ignite your divinity. Imagine the mysteries of the Tohil and the crystalline clarity and radiant abundance of Vesa, a mastery balancing technique and certification process, and then cosmic life regression. Travel the universe and remember. Allow yourself the gift of navigating the inner matrix. This beautiful Ascended Mastery program of the Violet Flame will take you to places you may not have dared to dream to go, and then you will rediscover the true gift of your divine nature. Yes, the time is now to study the ancient mysteries, and it's so easy to begin. Discover the Self-Ascension Classroom only at SriandKira.com. That's SriandKira.com. Namaste.
And now, here are Sri and Kira.
Welcome back. We're delighted that you are here with us today exploring the mysteries. And today we're exploring dimensional dementia.
Woo!
And we have been privileged to share this insoulment from Archangel Zadkiel, which starts to unravel our assumptions. It starts to open us up to the greater understanding of what's going on when we lose track of time, when we lose track of ourselves, when we were wondering, now, what did I come down here for? You know, those moments that could be labeled from a density perspective, meaning a mass consciousness perspective, those moments could be labeled as dementia. But in fact, we're being invited to consider that we're stepping in and out of dimensional energies.
Now, this was, we started talking about this right before the little break here, and we really invite you to expand your vision. Give yourself this gift right now of relaxing even more, because one of the blessings of having worked with the Ascended Realms for going into our 19th public year now is that we are constantly blessed with inspiration. We are constantly blessed with ways of expansion and ways of being. And the yoga of self-ascension over the past 19 years has called forward for us personally, through the law of instantaneous manifestation, the witnessing of thousands and thousands of miracles. And with all our heart and soul, if you are not familiar with our app, why not? It is free. Go to the Apple Store, the Android Store. It's for all of your iPhones or your iPads or your whatever device you have, and it's worldwide. Just go to Apple or Android, the stores there, to download the app, and it's simply Spiritual Mastery with Sri and Kira. And so Spiritual Mastery with Sri and Kira, if you just type in Sri and Kira, you'll find several apps for us, but this is the Spiritual Mastery app. Now, with the Spiritual Mastery app, just downloading it is going to give you so much support to assist you to stay buoyant in that beautiful space of not being affected by what the dementia of this world of co-creative dimensional experience wants you to be. It will help you stay out of fear. It will let you know you are not alone. You can be connected. There's even a Oneness Talk radio player in there. You can just hit go. So there's so much going on inside of that free app. And if your heart's saying yes to a greater level of miracle presence, then check out the Mastery Mentorship Team. For as little as less than a coffee a week, less than one beverage a week, you can be part of that Mastery Mentorship. And we come together every month live as a team. And this is where we activate the healing light. This is where we call in that miracle presence. And what we have had the honor of witnessing for over 19 years now are thousands and thousands and thousands of bona fide miracles, and that living that energy called forward for us yet another very public miracle in the fact that Sri is still alive right now, in the fact that my cancer is in full remission again, and that we are reverse aging at a rapid pace, more rapidly than we have ever done before. Our bodies have metamorphosized. This is because we were blessed with learning years ago how to navigate this dimensional dementia, because we have been learning this new language. And you are here right now because you can either choose to grow old or to grow better. You can either choose to integrate or to disintegrate. Mm-hmm. You can choose to pop or drop. And all of those energies are right here, right now. And we're going to talk about that, because we're also going to be talking about how does this new language bring us to untanglement? Hey, are you having any advanced ascension symptoms? Do you even know what they are? We're going to just touch on that for a minute in this part of the show, along with offering you yet another practice to help you through this moment.
Absolutely. It's one of the things, I mentioned the word New Age, and I don't want to bring that word in. It's just that...
No, we're not bringing stereotypes in at all.
Because a lot of people do stereotype what we're talking about as being part of that. And it's actually...
And the way we look, we get judgments thrown at us constantly.
It's not about that. What it's about is a deeper level of truth.
Right?
It's about your authenticity. When I look at you and I see the beauty and the light radiating from you, what I see is a soul, is your essential energy.
Yeah.
And you may not see your own soul. You might only see your personality, your ego. However, when we start having these frequency experiences, when we start having dimensional dementia, when we get ringing in the ears and other signs of these frequencies,
alignments with lower frequency energy that our body's saying, hey, pay attention here.
It's the purpose of these at one level is to simply say, hey, wake up to a deeper truth about who you really are.
Exactly. It is your time. And we want to pick up again on this insoulment. So I want to continue right here where we left off. Ask yourself, where was I when you're noticing, hey, did I just lose track of time? Hey, where are my car keys? Hey, whatever, right? Okay, stop. Where was I? Where was I? Ask yourself, and who is asking? And then who is the part of you that needs to know? Because you need to know and be reassured that you are practicing. You are actively practicing. You are actively doing, and you are actively participating. You are the creator. You are the commander. And so, as such, let's continue. You are building a new earth. We offer this word to you only for you to feel comfortable with it. You must understand that what you are building is an energy frequency, a vibrational place, a plane, a space of being that supports your vibrational escalation. And that this place is being visited by you more often than you may be consciously aware. And this is why we are offering you a way out of the entrapment today. Whew, let's unpack that, because that is massive. This is that, how are we building this new earth? Consciously or without consciousness? Because that is the war right now, if there is a war.
Well, yeah, there's definitely a polarity and a tension in
Right.
consciousness. And it's important to recognize the simplicity and the beauty of this. How almost everybody has these moments where they forget what they're doing, lost track of time, why did I walk into this room kind of moment. If we apply the context of density, meaning third dimensional mass consciousness, if we apply that context to our experience, all we're left with is something's wrong with me.
Right?
If we listen and take action on what Archangel Zadkiel is sharing, to pause and go, where was I? We open ourselves up to a growth experience, to redefining who we are, and to really be in a wholesome relationship with ourself, to trust life rather than be in fear.
Right?
And this is the gift being offered here in such simplicity, because the fact that you can recognize that you had a slip in your memory means that you're okay. You're actually okay. You're noticing. You're aware.
It's that awareness. Remember that awareness is that opening step. I always love quoting Krishnamurti, right? Those of you that know me know this quote, right? When you wake up is when you are responsible.
Yes.
And the reason you're responsible is because you're aware of what you weren't aware of. And the beauty of that level of awakened responsibility is that it's free of judgment because it comes from a higher sense of your divine presence. That awareness actually validates everything that we're sharing with you here. And you have touched it more than once. And I'm confident you know that, or you wouldn't be listening and tuning into this show, because this is that way out of entrapment and again, it takes me back to Einstein. And I love that we start talking about this new language, right? Yeah. It takes us back to, you are not going to solve anything at the level of consciousness that was created. And that at the end of the day, all we are is energy. All we are is frequency. And it's how our frequency vibrates that determines that causality, that determines this sense of formation. And the other piece that Zadkiel says here that I love is, you are participating. Hello, you are not a victim. This is how to break free of that ultimate victim. It's like the victim. It reminds me of that, the 1930s vaudeville with the big hook. It's like, right, get him off the stage, right? Yeah. That's victim consciousness. That's that victim consciousness going, you have no right to flourish. Let me get you out of here. And if you want to know more about that energy and how it's affecting this moment right now, if you're catching this podcast on its premiere day, Sunday, December 20, then you make sure you go check out Sri and Kira live from this same day, December 20. And no matter when you're catching this, go check the Sri and Kira live that aired December 20th. You can check it out easily over at YouTube, official Sri and Kira, also over at YouTube, Oneness Talk Radio. because it's all about that moment right now and this new language. So let's dive into it, Sri. Let's continue.
Absolutely. And so just by way of preface to get us back into the flow with Archangel Zadkiel,
Yeah.
we are being reminded that we are creating a new frequency.
As a new language.
And a new earth as
Literally.
a product of that.
Exactly.
So, Zadkiel continues, it is the time where we could sit together here together for an hour without even speaking, without words, and you would get the message. You must know this. The words are becoming more and more unnecessary as you allow yourself to untangle from the entrapment energy.
Now, I want you to breathe that in, because this is the clarion call that says, pay attention. If you are addicted to the words of the realm, media, look at media, social media, the access to words, the way that words are being used for manipulation. And again, with all of our heart, please, please, please go back and listen to the show Sri Kira Live from December 20, because here's what's really important. The words are becoming more and more unnecessary. It's not that they're already necessary. They've been becoming. It's pull out from the word, lift up, trust that silence that is active. Allow yourself to untangle from the entrapment energy. Only you can do this.
Yes. And just by way of comment here, words in a classical density-based sense are used to manipulate. They're part of competition. They're part of a seduction, egoic.
All of that.
And if we only look at words at the level of the word, we could be easily distracted and start believing alternate truths.
Well, isn't that where fundamentalism arises? Is the literal interpretation of the word based upon a belief system that seeks to keep you entrapped. Breathe that in.
Yes.
The literal interpretation of the word based upon a belief system that seeks to keep you trapped.
When we begin instead to look at the energy that is behind the words,
Exactly.
the being who is using the words, we get the deeper message. We have the opportunity to discover what's really being radiated and communicated.
So really breathe that in and have no doubt, right? I love this. They're saying, hey, look, have no doubt. We enjoy words. I mean, but they're saying play with them. And as you play with your words and as you create new words, you joyously have fun with words, right? And what's so important here is that they're saying that you are at the time where you must learn the language of higher vibrational existence. Now, it is a new language, and Sri and I have been very, very blessed, and sometimes it feels like a curse that our mission has always been to experience all of these ascension symptoms and all of this energy kind of quote unquote ahead of our time. And the blessing is that we are all converging into the same time now. And so it is such an important thing that you are at the time where you must learn the language of higher vibrational existence, and you will not learn it through dialogue that is competitive and filled with judgment, which is exactly Einstein, because the competitive judgment-filled energy is third and fourth dimensional frequency. It takes compassion to lift up into the fifth dimension, and it takes the release of judgment to lift up into the seventh. And that is here right now. What you will learn in dialogue that is competitive and filled with judgment is simply how to do density better. So if you wish to do density better, go for it.
Yes.
Have a good conversation, have a good dialogue, and bring up all the judgments. I think that's an important moment.
Well, it is, and we can look at the contrast in the current era of social media, how quickly people are lobbying judgments, and it may not look competitive at first, but what they're seeking is attention. I'm competing for your attention.
Well, I want to be an influencer. It's become the realm of density.
And so that arena is like Velcro for staying entrapped at that level of consciousness, at that frequency of energy, as opposed to noticing and looking at the energy and beginning to train yourself to have a more harmonic understanding.
Yeah.
And here's Zadkiel's going to introduce this for us now. So, have a good conversation, have a good dialogue, bring up all the judgments. Notice, as you are training yourself to the new language, the language of harmonics, pay attention. You will indeed be learning the language. Have you ever learned a new language? Or have you ever told yourself you cannot learn a new language? So many say, I cannot learn languages, cannot do it. We ask you to give yourself the opportunity to know that this language is already in you, that there's nothing to learn. There is only the opportunity to allow yourself to call in, to remember, to align, and be.
Now really breathe this in, because when we say yes to us, when we remember to call in, when we remember to remember, when we go to sleep with our consciousness, when we command that, go get that evasive dream practice, then we ignite the joy-filled blessing of our soul. So bring your hands to your heart and let's share what happens right now when there is only the opportunity to allow yourself to call in, to remember, to align and be, which means you are no longer distracted by the density.
Your soul song is the most beautiful song you have yet to hear, and you have heard. It was created by you.
Breathe.
You are a part of this soul song. It carries your family, it carries your soul, it carries your vibrational level, it carries your memory, it carries your connection, it carries your understanding of all past, present, future. It is all one. It is a glorious song. Let this song come in for you.
This is true sacred union with the soul. This is the moment at hand right now. Your soul song is the master presence of you in full harmony in sacred union with this body. This is the yoga of self-ascension, for you to let this song come in for you. The divine Leela, the divine harmony, the energy of the divine mastery presence that is infinite and infinitely patient and is having a glorious time witnessing how this experience is going. And when you invite that song in, it illuminates you, it inspires you, and you become the law of instantaneous manifestation. And remember, as Archangel Zadkiel says, it will not come in for you if you are entrapped, because the frequencies are too different. And so when you entrap energy and density, you will not hear it. You will actually dismiss it. It will come in and you will say, oh, that's not real. Get out of here, whatever. And so joyously let it come in. This is that fifth dimensional compassion. It's that joy that says, you know what? If not now, when? And if not me, who? So when those ears start ringing, stop. Oftentimes you talk through it and you say to others, hey, my ears are ringing, right? Well, if you're telling them, then you cannot stop and listen. So pay attention. When you lose your train of thought, when your judgments flare, when you find yourself not paying attention, when you find that you are indeed distracted and moving into all these other areas, thoughts and ways, when the body calls you and says, I cannot sit a minute longer, my back is killing me, give yourself the gift of knowing that you are being called to mastery presence. Really bring a hand to your heart. Breathe that in. Because you're being called to understanding. And what is understanding? What is the ascension key of the word understanding? You are being called to that moment where the left brain trusts the you enough to allow the two to become one and your true mastery presence to flourish and be seen.
Yeah. Often as we're diving into this material and sharing with you, our beloved community, we invite you to bring a hand to your heart. And the reason we invite you to do that is that the heart is your centering point. It is the foundation of the ascended state of being. The alternative that's so common in density is, well, I'll think about it. I'll consider it. And what happens then is we activate the brain of density to judge, analyze, and dismiss and compartmentalize everything being shared, which then keeps you entrapped at that level of consciousness. Your heart is a gateway to your divine wisdom.
Yes. And so you are being called to understanding. Know that you are, indeed, at the time of rapid movement in all dimensions, all areas, all energies, all sense of being. You, indeed, are ready to move on many levels. You are ready to move in many ways. And for you to fully embrace this, it is time for you to move into the absolute knowing that you are already, every moment, connected on every level. You do not need to sit in a funny position and meditate because you are doing it all the time. You just simply need to know it. So let's breathe in and really receive that blessing from Archangel Zadkiel. And what we would like to do now is talk about practicing the new language and offer you a practice, a tangible practice that in this moment, as we are all coming into this moment on the planet, offers a moment of support, a moment of recognition, and an opportunity to say yes to you in a way you might not have done before.
Yeah. And just before we share the practice, I want to invite you once again to remember that right here in your own heart, your heart center is the gateway to the ascended realms, is the gateway to divine wisdom, and is the gateway to inner peace. In order to expand into your multidimensional truth, we need to have and cultivate an essential trust in our divine nature. And through that energy of trust, these practices become much easier. Our expansion, our evolutionary process becomes more conscious and more gentle, and everything flows. So let's practice the new language. It is a good practice to practice.
I love that. And so we offer you a practice. They're so cute.
This is Zadkiel's humor. It's a good practice to practice. All right, you will need yourself and you will need a mirror.
So make sure you have your supplies. You'll need you and a mirror.
Okay. Oftentimes you can do without the mirror once you practice a few times with the mirror.
So breathe that in. Because what Zadkiel is really saying is that as you do this practice with the mirror, you are the mirror. You know, there's a show called Soul Mirrors, and that's also right here at AM FM 247. Check out Soul Mirrors every Wednesday evening. You know, really check that show out, because that's what this is talking about, is that you are the mirror of your soul at all times. And when you can make peace with the mirror of density, that's the bigger thing they're talking about here. When you can make peace with the mirror of density, you no longer need to stare at it to know the truth of who you are, and you are free from what it can create for you. Can you look in the mirror and find peace, love, joy? That's the yoga of self-ascension.
And so we invite you for a moment to allow that peace to prevail. So let me continue with the practice that was brought through by this wonderful archangel. Simply sit with the mirror and gaze directly into your eyes.
So just sit and gaze.
Try not to blink. Simply gaze deep into the eyes until you are able to connect with the soul energy and let it gaze back at you. Notice what judgments come up, what thoughts may come up, and do not judge the judgments. You sit in front of the mirror, and many will say, "Why am I doing this? I don't know. How come?" You may say many things. Okay, say them. Then let them go. Continue to practice until you are able to call forth the truth of your own soul energy. It is then that you do not need the mirror anymore. You can simply take yourself into this place of complete understanding. That which you seek to hear in this moment, you are already calling forth in your knowing.
Breathe in. We have a beautiful bird chirping here. Really breathe in and receive that energy of you, your soul, and the wisdom that can go so far beyond the dimensional dementia. When we give ourselves the gift of conscious attention, we lift into that multidimensional experience that ignites that gateway of ascended presence through our awareness and then our conscious experience leading to our conscious choice, the ever-refining spiral of consciousness. Remember, we're going to go all the way back to where we began today. You are a divine being in this beautiful form experience. When I had my first near-death experience in 1989, when I died of cancer at the ripe old age of 29, the one gift that was forever blessed for me to have the blessing of experience is that we are eternal, we are forever illuminated, we are that which we seek. And there is a clarion call that has called you into this moment of divine presence right now. And that is inviting you to explore the mystery of your own divine journey through this beautiful body of form, this very moment in this beautiful co-creative timeline, and the remembrance of how amazingly power-filled you are.
Yes. And I want to remind you that this practice given to us by Archangel Zadkiel is deceptively simple.
Yes.
Yet it will open up safely worlds of perception and knowing. To be able to gaze at your own eyes, to be able to see your soul's light radiating back to you is reassuring. It is expanding, and it opens a divine connection that is, I really trust everyone is really yearning for, because the degree of peace and love that come forward through that opening are indeed worthy of your loving attention.
You know,
there's a magnification there.
There really is. And the dimensional dementia has gotten large and lofty. And again, we want to offer you some actionable steps. Number one, check out this program again. Listen to it a second time with a greater illuminated presence. Come back into it with the information you received from this first listening and listen again.
Yes.
Please go listen to Sri and Kira live. And hey, check us out live. Remember, you can get us live every Sunday at noon Pacific time, where Sri and I are right there interacting with you. There's robust chat over at official Sri and Kira YouTube, over at Oneness Talk Radio YouTube. And of course, you can call into us, ask us your questions, and request your mini soul readings in real time. For now, I encourage you also to give yourself the gift of saying, you know what? Here we are. We are culminating an extraordinary experience of co-creation. We're still navigating COVID. The world is shifting in ways that in our lifetimes would any of us ever dreamed. This is the blessing of consciousness, is that it will keep you on a need-to-know basis. And then the more that you awaken, the greater that awareness becomes. And so in your greater awareness moment right now, the dimensional dementia that is seeking to keep you entrapped is growing. It's large, it's robust, and the only reason that can be is because the consciousness experience is growing, and it's large, and it's robust, and the difference between the two is that the default is the dimensional dementia. The choice is the ascended presence and higher consciousness that is yours to claim. Mm-hmm. So wake up. Say yes to you. Yeah. Go to SriandKira.com, scroll down on that homepage and grab the Avasic Connectivity Dream Practice. Start doing it. Command your mastery presence. You can do this.
Absolutely. And the next time you have that ringing in your ears, you hear a high pitch or whatever it is.
Where was I?
You just pause for a moment and say, thank you.
Thank you.
Be with it rather than push it away, because this is a gift to expand you. So, beloved ones, as we come to a close for today, we want to thank you for your kind attention. We want to thank you for participating. We
love you.
And your willingness to just keep going. Because together we are co-creating the new earth. And together we are better. Namaste.
See you next week.
Thank you for joining us at Sri and Kira Live. To have your questions answered, send us an email to guest@SriandKiraRadio.com and check out more information at SriandKira.com. See you next week. Namaste.